at the expense of every other kid that's got dreams too. Thank you, Mr. President.
Further remarks, Senator Fortunato.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, it reminds me of a little saying that says, it's not overspending, it's undertaxing. I mean, we have to get our priorities straight in this state on what we're actually spending our money on. So, you know, I'm a strong proponent of letting people keep their own money rather than give it to us and let us somehow make child care more affordable by raising your taxes. You know, I have a friend of mine, I've told this before, but he's a master woodworker. People tear pictures out of magazines and say, build me this desk. And he'll build that for you, Mr. President, if you got $35,000, right? A custom piece of furniture to match other furniture that somebody bought a $150,000 dining room set. I don't know anybody that could do that, but somebody did that. And they wanted a matching piece of furniture, and he built it. Without rich people, he would starve. Him, his family, and the family of all his workers would starve. Rich people buy things. This is a sales tax-driven state, Mr. President. If you want more money, sell more stuff. Now, I'm an LLC. You know what that means? I pay myself X amount of dollars. Anything that's left over in that LLC is considered mine as a taxable income. Well, that's the money I would take in my business to progress my business, to expand it, to do other things with it. But now I'm going to be in this millionaire category if I don't watch it. I got to make sure I stay just under that, Mr. President. I mean, this is a tax on small business LLCs. I want to make that clear. And a lot of this talk we've heard about is really class envy. You know, when I was a little kid, we'd be driving down the road, and my mother would say, point this big house up on the hill, and say, you know, so-and-so lives there. If you work hard, someday you could have a house like that. That's what my mom taught me. Now, what do we hear? We hear, oh, look at that guy in a big house on the hill. He ought to pay more taxes so that I could get some kind of benefit because he should pay more. In our church, for example, you want to build something, we want to expand a church, we want to build a new church. Who do you go to ask for money? You go to the wealthiest people in the parish, and you ask them for contributions. And many times, if you look at some of the philanthropy of well-to-do people, Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, you go to, I think it's Seattle Children's. They built a whole wing. I mean, we're chasing people at higher income people out of this state. And by doing that, we are pushing this dependence on this revenue stream farther and farther down the rung to where it's going to be, you know, Al Gore one time said, you know, it's a millionaire tax because everybody's going to make $1 million at one time or another in their lifetime. This is where we are, Mr. President. And so when people, higher income people move out of the state, that's putting the burden on the rest of us. So this is, I don't know whether you recall, but there was a period of time when we were talking about income taxes, and even the governor of California said, the income tax is the least reliable source of revenue because it fluctuates so much. So now we are being told that if you pass this bill and you pass this revenue stream, we are going to have a reliable source of revenue to fund education, which, by the way, Mr. President, I will remind you, is the paramount duty of this state. It is the number one thing that we should be funding. And if we're not, if the education is underfunded, we in this state should be dedicating revenue to that first. Now we're being told that we can't do that unless we raise taxes. But in the past, Mr. President, we did spend over 50% of the state revenue on education. So this is an extremely bad idea, and I'm voting no. Thank you, Mr. President.
So the President is